Hi, I'm Jason Horsch, owner of Xanadu Gallery in Scottsdale, Arizona, and this is the Art Marketing Minute. Today's topic, creating compelling titles for your artwork. Coming up with great titles for artwork can be a real drag. Many artists feel that it's more work to come up with a title than it is to create a masterpiece. If you were a natural wordsmith, you would have become a poet, not an artist. So the question is, do titles really matter? And how much time and effort should you spend titling your artwork? From a gallery owner's perspective, I can tell you that I believe titles do matter. A buyer wants to feel like the artwork they're about to purchase from you is one of your masterworks. They're going to have a hard time believing that if you've called the piece Untitled number 427. A good title becomes a part of the buyer's narrative. A particularly good title will help sell the artwork, and conversely, a bad title can hamper sales. I can also tell you that good titles cause potential buyers to spend more time looking at and thinking about your artwork. So, what makes a good title, and how can you come up with good titles without going insane? I have some suggestions, and I'd love to hear yours. Leave them in the comments below. Titling your artwork is challenging because you have several potentially conflicting goals with a good title. A good title will provide insight into your inspiration for the artwork and may help the artwork tell its story. A good title will also leave room for the viewer to bring his or her own meaning and interpretation to the artwork. Additionally, a good title will be memorable and catchy. It will be original, or at least as original as anything can be in a world where nothing is ever truly new. And a good title will not be too cheesy. So the goal is to come up with a great title. But how does one do it? After having dealt with tens of thousands of pieces of art and having spoken with hundreds of artists about titles, here are some ideas that might help. First, start with the obvious. If there are elements in the artwork that are key focal points, use those elements as jumping off points for your title. Was there a driving emotion or inspiration that led you to create the work? If so, try and draw a title from that inspiration. Is there an underlying story behind the work? Try to clue the buyer into the story with your title. Put yourself in your viewer's shoes. What will they see when they look at the artwork? And what do you want them to focus on? Keep your titles brief. While there are obvious exceptions, if you need a 30-word title, you're probably doing something wrong. Maybe you should have become an author instead of an artist. Now this all sounds great in theory, and will work for the first dozen or so pieces an artist creates. But what about after you've created hundreds of pieces? Eventually, you're going to run out of creative, unique titles. To combat this issue, try to come up with a naming system. I've known artists who look at poetry or mythology for inspiration. Having a dictionary and a thesaurus around can help as well. Finally, I want to share some examples of great titles. Lori Acott, an artist I represent in my gallery, is a master of titling her artwork. Here are a couple of the best examples of her titles. This piece is called Who Rescued Who? The piece of sculpture is fun and engaging by itself, but the title adds a whole new layer of meaning to the art. Several weeks ago at Art Walk, I observed a couple looking at this piece. "Come over and look at this one," the husband said. "Oh, I love it," replied the wife. "Now look at the title," said the husband. "Who Rescued Who?" "Oh, I love it," said the wife. "The title makes the piece," stated the husband, and the wife agreed. Conversation with myself. Again, the title makes you stop and think. And the more you think about it, the more intriguing you find the piece. Okay, you're saying, so there are a couple of brilliant examples, but my work doesn't lend itself to those kind of title fireworks. How about some more down-to-earth examples? And you certainly have a point. Here are some strong but simpler titles. Aspen Elegance by John Horsch, Commitment by Guy Jamais, Chicago to Arizona by Dave Newman, and Desert Flame by Josh Wiley. As you can see, these titles give you a context for understanding the work and help you feel that you understand better what the artist was thinking when he or she created the piece. Coming up with a system and putting effort into developing the right titles for your work is worth the effort. I encourage you to examine your current titling approach to see if you need to revisit what you're doing to make your titles more engaging. Thanks for joining me for this Art Marketing Minute from Xanadu Gallery. Be sure and check out our other videos and blog posts, all designed to help you build a more successful art business. Also, be sure to join our mailing list to get free art business news and marketing advice in your inbox. I'm Jason Horsch, owner of Xanadu Gallery. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next Art Marketing Minute.